He lived his entire life in a cage, not a real cage, a mental one, built by other people's opinions. Every decision, every choice, every dream controlled by one question: what will they think? Until one day, he broke free. This is how. His name was Karen, 24 years old, good job, nice apartment. From the outside, everything looked perfect, but inside, he was drowning. Every morning, he spent 30 minutes choosing what to wear, not because he cared, but because they might judge. Every conversation he rehearsed in his head first, not to be clear, but to be liked. Every dream he had, he killed it before it started. What if people laugh? What if I fail and everyone knows? What if they think I'm crazy? He lived for applause, for validation, for approval. And when he didn't get it, he felt worthless. His life wasn't his own. It belonged to everyone else, and he didn't even realize it. One day, Karen got a job offer, his dream job, in another city. It was everything he ever wanted, but his family didn't approve. Stay here, it's safe, why risk it? His friends made jokes. You, in that field? Good luck. His colleagues raised eyebrows. That's a huge step down. What are you thinking? And just like that, the dream started to die. Karen sat in his room that night, the offer letter in his hand. He wanted to say yes. Every part of him screamed yes. But the voices were louder. They'll think you're making a mistake. They'll judge you if you fail. They'll say, "I told you so." So he put the letter down, and he stayed, safe, approved, miserable. Weeks passed, then months. Karen went back to his routine, but something had changed. He felt hollow, like he'd betrayed himself. And the worst part? The people whose opinions he cared so much about, they moved on. They forgot. They didn't even notice his sacrifice. One evening, Karen went to a small cafe. An old man was sitting alone, reading a book. Karen sat nearby, ordered coffee. The old man looked up and smiled. "You look like someone carrying a heavy weight." Karen forced a smile. "I'm fine." The old man nodded, then pointed to a bird outside the window, a small sparrow perched on a wire. "Do you see that bird?" the old man said. Karen looked. "Do you think it wonders what the other birds think before it flies?" Karen frowned. "What?" The old man closed his book. "That bird doesn't wait for permission. It doesn't worry about judgment. It doesn't need applause." He looked at Karen. "You think people are watching you, judging you, waiting for you to fail." He paused. "But the truth is, most people are too busy worrying about what you think of them." He stood up, preparing to leave. "Everyone is so worried about being judged, no one is actually watching." And he walked away. Karen sat there, alone, staring at the bird, and something inside him cracked. That night, Karen couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about the bird, about the old man's words, and he realized something painful. He had spent his whole life performing for parents, for friends, for strangers. He changed his clothes to impress people who didn't care anyway. He killed his dreams to avoid judgment from people who forgot him anyway. He lived in fear of opinions that didn't even exist. And the worst part? The only one trapped was him. Everyone else had moved on. Karen made a decision that night. He was done. Done living for applause. Done shrinking to make others comfortable. Done asking permission to be himself. The next morning, he called about the job offer. It was still available. He said yes. His family panicked, his friends questioned him, his colleagues smirked. And for the first time in his life, Karen didn't care. Not because he stopped loving them, but because he finally started loving himself more. He packed his bags, he moved. It was terrifying, but it was also freeing. 6 months later, Karen's life looked completely different. The job was hard, the city was new, the challenges were real. But he was happy, truly happy. Not because everything was perfect, but because for the first time, he was living his life, not theirs. He learned the hardest lesson anyone can learn. Other people's opinions are not your prison unless you give them the key. Most people spend their entire lives waiting for permission. Permission to chase dreams, permission to be different, permission to fail. But here's the truth. No one is coming to give you permission. And the people you're trying to please, they're too busy living their own lives to care about yours. You think they're watching. They're not. You think they'll judge you forever. They won't. You think their opinions define you. They don't. The only opinion that matters is yours. And the moment you realize that is the moment you become free. Right now, there's something you want to do. A dream, a change, a risk. But you're stopping yourself because of them, because of what they might say, what they might think. But let me ask you this. How long are you going to live in a cage you built for yourself? How long are you going to wait for permission that's never coming? How long are you going to sacrifice your happiness for people who aren't even paying attention? The bird doesn't ask for permission to fly. It just flies. And so can you. Stop waiting. Stop performing. Stop living for them. Start living for you. The moment you stop caring what people think is the moment your real life begins. If this story touched you, like, share, and subscribe for more stories that help you break free and become who you're meant to be.